single cell of your blood is healthy, now what you can expect is negative charge completely in your system. Now what do you do when your mobile phone loses charge? You connect it to the charger, right? Do you know when you lose charge, you feel extremely tired and you feel sleepy during the day and you may feel stressed and you may feel fatigued and so many discomfort that you experience. And that's when antioxidant comes into play, and I said antioxidants could be called electrons as well, right? So there's one factor, one element in the earth that actually gives us free flow of electrons, whether you want it or not, if you can connect your bare foot onto the ground. And again, if you look at all of these creatures, I keep repeating this with every lecture. God created all of the creatures and He put us in the Garden of Eden. I'm sure He did not give us footwear. Okay? And we were walking with barefoot, and only when sin entered, then thistles and thorns and everything came up, and probably man designed footwear, and that became a fashion right now. And to an extent where it could spoil your health by standing slanting like that all throughout.
Preach it, Pastor. Yeah.
I mean, in fact, high heels is not how you spoil your health, but all of these shoes and everything that we are wearing, and we have insulated ourselves from the amazing energy, the amazing benefit that you and I could get from connecting ourselves from the earth. They say earth is a 6 sextillion, that is 21 zeros following 6, okay, metric ton battery, which is constantly re-energized by the solar radiation and the lightnings and so many other factors keep charging the earth, and the earth is willing to give us all of the antioxidants you need every day.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? All of the antioxidants that you need every day. So, let me remind you this. You know, the last time you went to the beach and you removed your footwear and you spent some time, did you come back home so much relaxed?
Yes.
We often don't realize this. And there's one occasion where you get connected to the earth. If I would ask you the question, when was the last time you walked barefoot on a grass or on the seashore? Some of us don't have an answer because you don't know when was the last time we walked like that, right? But still, every day we just get connected to the earth. When you take bath, through the water we are connected to the earth. And there's one amazing book. I took all of the information from that book. They say, so in that book, when you take bath, this is when your brain works so wonderfully and you begin to think of so many things, and people are so relaxed. Some of them really want to sing songs when they take bath. And so many amazing creative thoughts come in when you take bath. So, you know, some of you are thinking, yes, yesterday I just thought of it.
True.
That's one of the recommendations anyway, you know.
So, earthing. Earthing is such an amazing thing where you get so much of your antioxidants or the electrons flowing into your system. Now,
And it's free.
it's free. I mean, you know, this is one of the points that I mentioned in one of our meetings last week. You know, all of these amazing things God has given us is free of cost. The air we breathe and earthing and most of these things that we get, all of the health principles, pretty much all of the health principles are free of cost. But when you ignore it, and at some point you fall sick and they take you to the ICU, and do you know how much you have to pay for the oxygen they give you there? And these patients long to get on their foot again and get me out, I would like to walk. Now we could all do that free of cost. You know, we have insulated ourselves completely. we have insulated our foot with our shoes and our slippers, and then we have insulated our homes with carpets like this, which cannot conduct anymore, and we sleep on a bed which cannot conduct anymore. I remember my grandparents who used to sleep on the floor, and I'm sure you can relate to it as well. So we are completely disconnected from the earth, and that's one of the reasons why you suffer from what is called as the static electricity. How many of you have suffered from static electricity? You touch your partner and
Yes.
you get it?
Yeah.
And I had an experience where I was on the bed and I asked my wife to turn off the light, and she came and she was not able to reach the bed, and she just touched me and I could literally see a spark like that. I was unaware of what exactly this is, and this is simply because we are insulated and we are surrounded only with so much of electromagnetic field, cell phone radiation and Wi-Fi. The other day when we were discussing about sleep, I mentioned that you shouldn't be actually keeping your head close to the wall where there's wires and everything running around, right? So what's happening when you surround yourself with so much of electromagnetic field is that every single cell of your body, every vital organ of your body, like your brain, like your heart, like your kidney, all of them have got what is called as an electrical activity. They work in a synergy, and when you just put yourself in an electromagnetic field, there's serious interference of these electromagnetic fields and cell phone radiation interacting with the electrical activity of your body, and which by itself could induce oxidative stress, and to an extent it can cause DNA damage and cancer as well. Okay? So earthing is an amazing solution when it comes to EMF and Wi-Fi and cell phone radiation, which is something I want you to understand. There's a lot that I would like to discuss about EMF and earthing. Let's watch this video. I'm going to share the PDF book from where I took all the details about earthing. It is available free of cost. I'm going to share it in the group and you all should read it. So this is going to be a great benefit for you. The next video, without volume. Slightly forward. I'm sure some of you must be aware of this man. So he is actually demonstrating something about earthing and the benefits of earthing. Okay, now ungrounded blood, because of all of the oxidants that we saw in the list, it could look like that, and grounded blood, and it is approximately after 20 minutes. Just after 20 minutes, the blood turned out to be something like that. It turned out to be single cells. And see, time and again, you see subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, all of them had the same result. Ungrounded. And you probably could be having so much of these toxins in the form of oxidants coming into your system, but the simple solution for your problem could be grounding. Okay? And you may not be so much into your diet, you may not be so much into breathing fresh air, but if you could just ground yourself, and that's exactly how it's going to be. Next video. Grounding and EMF. Okay, now I want you to watch this demonstration of some YouTuber who talks about the effect of EMF, electromagnetic field, and grounding. I want you to watch it. It's a 6 minutes video. I suppose probably we may have to watch it for at least 3 minutes. Please please. Slightly forward.
Hello, this is Andrew Doan. I just wanted to show on a video what electromagnetic fields do to the body voltage and explain to you the ramifications or possible ramifications of having that voltage run through your body. And so as you can see right above me are power lines. Right now, they're running at about 0.8 microteslas, but these power lines can actually output anywhere from 0.8 to 2 microteslas, depending on the day and the usage and the power that's being drawn through them. But there is an electromagnetic field that's being generated by these power lines that then exerts basically a field that can induce a body voltage, and I'm going to show you how to measure that. Okay, I'm going to show what my body voltage is underneath the power lines. So the power lines here are 0.73 microteslas. This is actually detected by an EMF tester here, and this device is cheap. You can get it off of Amazon, and if you're interested in testing EMF around your home. And so this is my multimeter. I have it on alternating voltage, or alternating current, volts. And the red lead I'm pinching here, which is the positive lead, and the negative lead here is actually going to the ground with a stake. So I'm actually measuring over 15 voltage alternating current that's rushing through my body because of the EMF that's being induced onto my body by standing here underneath the power line. Now, by standing here underneath the power line, I'm getting 15 volts that it's alternating current, which is 50 to 60 hertz, because that's the frequency in which our electrical systems are powered through our homes. And so our electronic devices will actually generate that type of frequency. Now, look what happens when I take off my flip-flops, which are rubber-soled and insulating me. I touch the concrete and my voltage goes down. So by earthing and grounding, which is going barefoot and having skin to contact to the earth, you can see that through concrete, I can actually earth and ground. I'm getting a reduction down to about 53 millivolts. Now, ideally, grass is better because it's wet and there's living plants there. So when I step on the grass, I even drop further down to now 17 millivolts. So that's a huge change from 15 volts, which is 15,000 millivolts, down to 16 millivolts just by earthing and grounding. So that's what earthing and grounding does to you when you're surrounded by EMF. And we're all surrounded by EMF because our homes and our electronics are powered by EMF because of the electricity that's running through them. And so if you look at the voltmeter here, I put on my flip-flops again, and now
Let's go back to
What do you
Africa.
have to say about
Well, actually,
it? Isn't that amazing?
well, actually, you give me a good excuse now not to buy another pair of shoes.
Flat shoes.
Alright, we are coming to that. Okay? You know, in the name of modernization and the advancements that we see all around
Africa, I
us,
don't need shoes, man.
and
At home.
we have put ourselves into serious trouble. And we are actually meant to stay in close connection with the earth and nature. Let me keep repeating this. Every lecture I keep repeating this. Disease is a state of profound oxidative stress, is what I mentioned. Disease, in other words, I would call it the disconnect syndrome. Disconnection from nature and from earth. And when you are disconnected like this, imagine now the place where we are in, I'm holding this mobile, I'm having enough of EMF and cell phone radiation surrounding me. And so are you, right? So, do you see this? And I'm going to give you some solutions towards the end, what you and I can be doing about this. Next one. So, next one. Yeah. Now, this is another interesting experiment. Now, there are two plants of the same age, and the one on the left side is not grounded. No earthing for that. And the one on the right side is grounded. There's an electrical wire that is connected to the earth. So this goes on to say that not just humans, every single living thing, plants, animals, fishes, birds, every single thing survives because of this grounding. These birds get grounded when they sit on the tree and when they just, and of course they do fly, and fishes. You know, having said that, you may wonder why my fish is dying every time I just get my fish, put it in the tank and die. and none of them have explained this. Of course, there are so many reasons why a fish could die. One of the important reasons, it's not grounded. Just like the oxygen, grounding is so much important to your system. So just like that, these plants, I think it was after 3 weeks, and the one on the right side actually had a better growth than the other one, which had a stunted growth. Okay, so next slide. So what about stress? If you're really suffering from stress, the best thing you can do is to be grounded. To be grounded. When you're grounded, now look at that. This is the cortisol, what you see on the left side, and cortisol profile after 24 hours of earthing or grounding. So it can literally become neutralized. Again, earthing is one among the many things you can do to deal with your stress. It is not a standalone solution for any of your health problems, but what I mean here is by doing, by being grounded, you can take better advantage of treating your diseases. Okay, next one. And back pain, neck pain and back pain patients. And these patients, after just 2 hours of grounding, this is called as a thermograph, and the red spots you see on the left side indicates that there's so much of inflammatory changes going on over there. And after just 2 hours, you can see the changes on the back. The inflammation has literally come down. So this is what grounding can do. And I wanted to show a lot of such images to prove how grounding can help in each of the health problems, like healing of wound. It can have a profound healing when you are grounded. So that's one of those things you can see. Next one. So this is something that I found in Ministry of Healing, chapter 10, the introduction. Upon all created things is seen the impress of the deity. Nature testifies of God, the susceptible mind brought in contact with the miracle and the mystery of the universe. And this is a mystery that most of us are unaware of. We did not know about it and cannot but recognize the working of the infinite power. Not by his own inherent energy does the earth produce its bounties, and year by year continue its motion around the sun, and unseen hand guides the planets in their circuit of the heavens.
Amen.
May I have an amen for that? Amen. Isn't that amazing? The first time I came across these amazing things, I was simply blown away. So he has kept everything around us. Often we just believe, when I suffer from a disease, why did God create a human body that's left defenseless? No, it is not. Just that you and I did not understand the mystery, though he has given everything to us. Alright? Okay. Now you may want to know how in the world, like in a place like Dubai, can I get grounded? Now my job won't permit me. I go early in the morning, I come back late at night at 10 o'clock. Now, how can I be grounded? Okay. Now, the scientists who actually discovered the amazing benefits of grounding came up with some interesting stuff. I'm going to show that to you. Now, this one is called as the earthing sheet. Now, already Pastor Craig said, whatever my wife is planning to buy, I will send a bill to you.
Your lecture is very expensive.
I'm sorry about one last thing. Probably 2 or 3. So this is called as an earthing or grounding mat. Okay. Now these lines that you see here are silver linings in the mat. I bought this, though I'm not so sincerely using it. After this lecture, I'm definitely going to use, because I see someone saying, then I will take it. So these silver linings, and then the way this works is like this. You have a knob over here. You see this? And this knob is connected with a wire. Where is that? With a wire, and you connect to the end of that knob, and the other end of the wire is plugged into your socket. So those two pins will be plastic and the earth connection is metal. And then it comes with a lot of these testers. You can test how this is functioning. Is it really, you're grounded, or are you going to get electricity out of that? You can do proper testing before you even use this, okay? So, next one. So these are the list of grounding products that are available. You were asking about the shoes. So earthing bed sheets, what I showed you, and I also have the earthing desk mats. You can either remove your shoes and just connect the mat, just like this bed sheet, and you can just place your foot on that. And then wrist and body bands are available, which you can probably use while you're sleeping. And earthing patches, for the ones who are suffering from migraine, they even use earthing patches, but I don't think you need all of those. Just an earthing mat should be fine. And then you have earthing shoes, which can conduct, but there's a word of caution. You shouldn't be stamping on somewhere and get electrocuted. Just be careful about that. But the best of all, of course, you really don't have to. I'm not recommending that you have to really invest on all of these things. Every time you find an opportunity, see that you just reach out to the grass. And if you have a park somewhere close by, just spend enough of time over there, which should be just sufficient. My brother and his family had come from the US, and they were suffering from so much of jet lag, and then finally pretty much all of them ended up with a stomach upset. And with all of the medicines they took, it did not help. And we also had a plan of visiting the sand dunes. And I said, do you think we really have to visit there with so much of stomach upset and you're not even going to have toilets around? And is it okay? And they said, we know of grounding and let's try it. And guess what? It really worked.
Wow.
Okay, so body aches and stress and so many problems can heal if you can take advantage of all of the health principles combined with earthing or grounding.
Amen.
Okay? I'll try to complete it soon. I'm sure we are running short of time. Okay, now that's about earthing or grounding. I'm sure you all learned something new today. And now I don't want to leave you just like this. I just have a few more things I want you to understand. I want to discuss about just 6 of the most commonest diseases, how the oxidative stress, oxidative damage that you have in your body, the changes that's happening in your blood is causing each of these diseases. Okay? Next one.
Which shops will find
I'm sharing a PDF book with you in the group, and it has got the website as well. And if you're really interested in buying some of these products, I think the website is earthing.com, if I'm not wrong. Or
Amazon.
Sorry? Amazon, yeah. You get it from Amazon.
Do you have views for earthing shoes?
Well, do you really think that I'm the ambassador? Otherwise, I could have provided the affiliate link here. Okay. No. There's no slide in that. Okay. Previous one. Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. The other PowerPoint, can you please open that? Previous. Yes. Okay. So these are some of the diseases that we are going to quickly discuss about. Okay. Now, how oxidative stress that we all suffer from is actually causing each of these diseases. Right, now, high blood pressure. Now, you saw the blood thickening. Some of those videos clearly pointed out how your blood actually thickens, right? Now, there are multiple ways as to how the blood that is thickening, and when this keeps repeating day in and day out, this can actually increase your blood pressure and cause damage to your blood vessels, resulting in problems like heart disease and kidney disease or stroke or any of such diseases. Because your health, when we say it is about either enough of antioxidants or oxidative stress, now when the blood is not proper and when it is completely unhealthy, it may just cause any of these problems because blood is the one that supplies to your heart, your brain, your kidney, all of the vital organs rely on the blood that you have in your body. All right, now what happens in blood pressure is that when your blood cells are clumped to each other, then the movement, the flow of your blood supply is affected, and it's not just happening the way it is supposed to be. Now, as a result of which the blood pressure increases, simple as that. Okay. Now, there are so many blood vessels that are supplying your eyes. So the major artery that comes out of your heart, we call it as arteries, and then we call them the capillaries and arterioles, which are simply blood vessels which have the diameter just of a needle tip. Okay, just the size of a needle tip. So to pass through these single blood vessels which have this small diameter, now your blood cells are supposed to be single cells. Now when they are clumped like this, they cannot pass through that. You know what happens later on? These tiny little blood vessels can slowly and gradually die. Okay? And they die and you won't in fact see anything over there. Let me show you an image. I think we have an image over there. Skip, 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 skip. Yes. Now this is an image of the artery that's supplying to your lower back, and it's called as the lumbar artery. And the image that you see on the left side has got beautiful branches, which is a normal artery, and it is just looking okay. And the one on the right side that you see is a diseased artery because of the profound oxidative stress. This damage must have taken at least 10 years. Okay? So now you see those branches are no longer to be seen. Now there's a good news. In the right condition, even if you don't provide the right condition, your body has got the ability to create new arteries, which is what we call as collaterals, right? Now collaterals can form, but if you are ignorant about healthy living, you will lose pretty much all of these tiny little arteries which you may be unaware of. Now, when you go to a doctor saying, I have chest pain, he's going to put you on ECG, he's going to check how your heart's blood supply is through echo, angiogram, treadmill test, whatnot. Everything will be done to see if the blood supply to your heart is okay or not. But at the same time, if you go to the doctor with a back pain saying, I've got back pain, do you know what they're going to do? They will check your back with the help of X-ray. They will check it with the help of MRI, and that's it. And do you think they're going to check if the blood supply to your back is okay or not? No one will do it, and there's no such practice. But the truth is, this is an artery of your lower back called the lumbar artery, and the same thing that's happening to your heart can happen over the lower back also. In fact, what the modern research is saying is that even before a person could end up with heart attack or stroke, 10, 15 years before, they could actually get their arteries to the lower back and their reproductive system damaged. And they could end up with back pain. Not all back pain are just the same case. Probably this could be the case. And if this is the case, then you begin to suffer from a lot of issues. Combined with this, you may be suffering from elevated uric acid, elevated cholesterol, and things like that. Okay? So The same thing can happen to your knee joint, to your kidneys, your eyes, and then you may end up with loss of vision, loss of power of your eyes, and then cataracts and degenerative changes in your eyes. So many problems could happen because of this. But only when it comes to heart and brain, your doctors are educated to see if there's a blood supply good enough for your heart or brain, but it can happen to any other organ. Previous slide. Yes, this one. Yeah. Now the other way your blood vessels could be affected is this. Now the inner lining of your blood vessels are made of a special kind of cells called as endothelial cells. Now these endothelial cells are responsible for keeping your blood vessels open like this and help the blood flowing. Now what happens when you have so much of blood sludging going on in your bloodstream is that these endothelial cells will begin to get damaged. Now what these endothelial cells produce is something called as nitric oxide, which is the one to keep the blood vessels dilated. Now when these endothelial cells begin to damage, then you begin to have a stenosis, the constriction of these arteries, narrowing of the arteries, which can block the blood supply. All right? So these are two different ways how you may end up with problems of your heart, brain, or any organ of your body. Previous one. Okay. Now osteoporosis. Now I wanted this board especially to explain that, and osteoporosis, kidney stones, and kidney failure are pretty much connected. Now I'll tell you how this is happening usually. I'm not going to use the mic. So let's say your blood pH is about to fall. Now your body actually goes through what is called as a biological correction. Acid pH. Now, this results in something called as the biological correction. Now, what biological correction means is this. Your body loves to leach out some of the important minerals from different areas of your body to neutralize the acid buffer that's going on in your body to bring it back to the normal pH. Okay? So, that's called as biological correction. So, one of the amazing minerals that can do the job is calcium. Okay, calcium. Do you know where is calcium found in the body? And teeth, right? So 99% of your calcium is found in your bones and in your teeth. So when your body has got that typical acid kind of blood sludging, what you saw there, now your body leaches out the calcium from the bones, from your teeth, to neutralize the acid buffer. Now, once the calcium is leached out of your bones, it does the job. Now it is considered to be waste calcium. Okay? So, in this case, you probably could be eliminating a lot of this calcium through your urine as calcium waste product. Okay? So, it reaches the kidney. When calcium is leached out of bones for so many days, now what you're going to end up with is weak bones. And this is exactly what you call as osteoporosis. Okay? Osteoporosis is so common in the modern world just because people are so much engaged with unhealthy eating and unhealthy lifestyle. So you could end up with osteoporosis. Now, the next thing you have to understand is it reaches the kidneys. Now all of these waste calcium is reaching your kidneys, and now it has to be eliminated out of your body because it has got nothing to do in the system. But the kidney has got limitations to eliminate the calcium. So what it does is it eliminates calcium as much as it can, and the remaining calcium remains in the kidney. Okay? It remains in the kidney, and sometimes this could be crystallized. This could be crystallized and just remain in the kidney, which is what we call as
Kidney
kidney
stone.
stones. You can Google it and see what are the most common kinds of stones. Now, the most common kinds of stones are two. The most common one is calcium oxalate stones, and the second one is uric acid crystals. Okay, and both of them are coming from the acidic blood. Now, calcium oxalate stone, this is how it's coming. Okay, this is how it is created. Okay, kidney stones. Now, the next thing is some of the calcium could be filtered and can be reabsorbed into your bloodstream as well. Now, it's circulating in your bloodstream. When it is circulating in your bloodstream again, now it can't be deposited in the bones, but it may deposit anywhere in the body. And you may deposit right under your heel, right behind your heel, or you could deposit around your shoulder or your elbow, and your doctor may diagnose it as tendinitis, calcific tendinitis of your shoulder, or sometimes it could be diagnosed as even the tennis elbow or calcaneal spur, and so many names for it. You see it from where a lot of these problems can occur. And then the same calcium, because your body loves to dump it in some of the safest part of the body, like the muscles and the joints, and it could dump it right inside your artery. I wanted to show another slide where one of the scientific researchers clearly points out that 90% of the block in the arteries are coming from calcium deposits. And what we know is fat and cholesterol is causing the problem, but this particular paper clearly points out that 90% of these atherosclerosis are caused by deposits of these calcium inside your arteries. You know, every time these patients come to a hospital and they ask us, why did I get calcium deposits over my shoulder? But normally there's no much answer for that, and doctors would say it could come from anywhere. It could be just that you're taking excess amount of calcium in your food and which is causing it. But most of the calcific deposits you find in your body, in your kidneys, in your muscles, in your arteries, are actually coming from this important cycle. Okay, osteoporosis leached out and dumped inside the kidney, and then it goes into your muscles, gets deposited over there, could deposit in your arteries as well. Now, on the long run, when your kidney is so much strained to push all of these stuff out day in and day out, your kidney could wear out, and which is when you end up with kidney failure. Okay, your kidney failure is a result of overworking kidneys or a compromised blood supply. So these are some of the things. And okay, then about cancer. You know what? Every single cell of our body is desperately waiting for the nutrition that your blood would bring. Now, when your blood is not having adequate amount of nutrition and their survival itself is at risk, now what's going to happen is these cells which are waiting for the nutrition are starving. Now, when they starve, the next thing that could result is something called as DNA damage. Now, what is DNA? Is DNA has got a lot of work to do, and it is the blueprint of our system, in fact. But one of the important things that the DNA does is something called as controlled cell multiplication, meaning your cells in the body have a controlled cell multiplication. That's why our nose looks like a nose and ears look like ears. Otherwise, they would just look like cauliflower, something like a different one. If there's an uncontrolled cell multiplication. So this control is in the DNA. And when the DNA damage occurs, now there's uncontrolled cell multiplication. In medical terminology, we call it cell proliferation. So this is one of the natures of cancer cells. It is the normal cells turning out to be rogues. And because your blood is not providing nutrition, now at some point you went through DNA damage, now the cells are in a state where they can just multiply and survive at their own free will. And this is exactly what cancer is. This is applicable to most of the cancers that we know of. And of course, there are other causes for cancers as well. But in most of the commonest kinds of cancer that we know, this is exactly the same thing. Antioxidants versus oxidative stress. You see the connection? All right? Okay, next one. I think we are done. Okay, I wanted to show all of these slides. I think we are done. Okay, so in fact, we did not learn about the importance of sunlight, the importance of temperance, and trust. Probably and in fact, we wanted to discuss about stress management, but I'm not an expert in stress management, honestly speaking. And probably Pastor Kareem will cover trust as well. If I'm not around, he will cover that health principle as well. So it's my belief that this particular series of health talks and what we heard from Pastor Kareem would bring in the genuine transformation in all of us. Because as I always mention, this turns out to be the biggest motivational factor for me. Today morning I visited Sharjah Church, and my elder told me that all the eyes are on you. Now, how healthy you are, everyone is watching you. But as I said, last night I was awake till 2 o'clock to prepare the slides, but yet I did not complete. So even I compromise. I'm just still trying to be there. But this definitely is a great motivating factor for me.
Amen.
And we have a beautiful health group. We don't want that group to be silent, and we want each one of you to post the pictures of infused water. What is the right kind of water you're doing? What is the innovative thing that you have come up with? And how ventilated are you keeping your house? And what are the other new things you can, probably there are so many other things which I did not talk about, which you can add there. And let us all live a healthy lifestyle. And no matter how healthy we are, no matter what we do, whether what we eat or what we drink, we all do it for the glory of God. God bless you.